Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. In this video, I'd like to show you how to make these adorable little colorful eggs. These eggs are made with a variety of fun material, including murini. Murini are colorful glass rods with a pattern inside. When you cut them with mosaic nippers like this, and then you assemble them on top of a piece of clear base glass, you get this lovely little intricate pattern. Here I'm using a tool called mosaic nippers. This pair has a bump on the bottom side that acts like a spacer. So when you place the murini on top of the table surface, and then you place the mosaic nippers on the surface as well and nip, you get very uniform thicknesses, which really increases the quality of the finished piece of art. If you don't use that spacer and just randomly nip the pieces, you'll get varying lengths. And then when you assemble the art, and you have some pieces that are taller or thicker than some of the others, there's more glass material there. When it melts down, it'll create a bigger puddle. So you'll have varying sizes and shapes in your design. So it really does benefit your finished project to make these pieces uniform. Also, nipping them on the table like this is just fun. I've selected a variety of spring colors and pastel colors because I think they'll work nicely on this particular design. Nipping the pieces can become a little tedious, so it's important that you put your hand as far away from that cutting edge as possible, because then you have more leverage and you'll have less hand fatigue, and therefore you'll be able to cut these little pieces longer and have more consistent results. At this point, I'm not sure how many of these little pieces I'm going to need, so I'm going to cut about 6 or 8 in each different color, and then once I start assembling my project, if I want more of a specific color, I'll go back and cut them. I love the murini because they come in a nice wide variety of colors, and the pattern, when it's laid out, gives you a nice lacy effect. You can use them in rows, you can make little clusters, you can use them in a circle. They have a wide variety of uses, and they give your artwork a really unique, interesting pattern. They're easy to work with and available at your art glass supplier, and they're available in both COE 96 and COE 90. It's cool to compare the different styles. Some of these have a circular pattern on the inside and others have what looks like a little square. They're basically circles of clear wrapped with circles of opal color and then wrapped with clear and wrapped with color. So you get this beautiful little teardrop sort of scope looking effect when you use these. They're really fun. I like to introduce a little bit of white because it really makes the other colors pop and jump when you put the pieces together. I love the idea of making projects that have open spaces, kind of a lacy look. So I thought it'd be really fun to create this circular shape in the middle and then do kind of a wreath of Easter eggs around it. Here I'm using my Circle Pro to cut a 2-inch circle out of white glass. This tool makes it very easy to cut circles as small as 1 inch all the way up to 24 inches. The design makes it easy to use and it has very precise measurements. Now that I have a round score that I made with the Circle Pro, I'm going to take my handheld cutter and go from that score line out to the perimeter of the glass. Then I'll take my running pliers, gently squeeze along those score lines until I remove the excess material and have something that looks similar to a circle. Whenever you're cutting curves, you're going to have little points and bumps on the edge of the glass. That's consistent with cutting anything that's not straight. So don't worry about it. You haven't done anything wrong. You just have to go back in with your other pliers. These are my grozing pliers. I'm going back in and nipping off those little points and that excess material to minimize the amount of time I have to spend at the grinder. I like to build my projects with 2 layers of glass. Then when the glass is fired, I retain the size and shape and I get really nice uniform edge quality. So I went ahead and cut 8 different shapes, 8 different egg shapes out of clear glass to use as my base. Here I'm grinding the shape to give it nice edge quality and make sure that I have a uniform look or profile to the piece. Look how nicely that's turning out. I cut 8 little ovals out of clear glass. Now I'm going to decide how I want to decorate these. I'm going to use some murini and some of those twisted cane, and some different opal glasses and transparent glasses. The fun in making this project is that each one of these little eggs is different. So it's a lot of fun to put together because it's not, tedious just doing the same thing over and over. So I thought one way that I could keep those murini and the twisted cane from rolling and keep moving on me when I'm assembling was to create an opal shape at the top and bottom of each egg out of sheet glass. So here I'm cutting what might be considered like bookends that'll hold those other smaller intricate details that want to move and shift on me while I'm putting this together. I'm going to kind of create these ends that will hold everything together for me, make it easier to assemble. I used a paper pattern to cut the clear bases, but now that I'm cutting the detail pieces, I want to expedite the process. I'm just going to use a pattern sort of as a loose guide to cut the top and bottom of each egg, but then I'm going to just kind of fill in with different strips and twisted cane and that nipped murini. I selected some pastel colors and just things I thought would look nice together. I want bright and cheery spring colors that are just cheerful to look at. After using my running pliers to remove the bigger pieces, I'm going to go back in with these grozers and clean that up and remove those smaller pieces. Now I have a little piece of pink and a little piece of lavender on this one egg, so I'll go ahead and cut another piece of pink and I'll put it on a different egg. And so each one of these will be different, having their own identity, which makes it more interesting to look at the finished project, and it also makes it a lot more fun to put together because it's not so tedious. You're not doing the same thing over and over, and I'm kind of designing these as I go, which is always a lot of fun. It also naturally increases your color combinations because if you just come up with one combination, you do it, repeat it over and over, well, that could be nice and it could add a nice uniformity to your work. But when you're doing a different color for each one, as you're going along, a lot of times I see a color combination, I say, hey, I didn't think of that before, and I like that so much, I want to use it again later on a different project and purposely put those colors together. So working this way is really advantageous for your design, your future design ideas and color combinations. So don't hesitate to just kind of, cut glass, as you go, design as you go, and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the freedom of being in your studio and creating. I love this particular concept because it has a very seasonal appearance and colors and design. But I also think this design idea, this concept of a circle in the middle and then pieces around it in kind of a lacy format with some openness could be really have a lot of nice applications for other designs. So don't be surprised if you see this type of design idea coming up again in the future with a different type of project, maybe a different seasonal piece, maybe something that's not seasonal at all, but just, flowers or circles or, squares. So I love the idea, this concept of having something very recognizable, but then also giving it a very unique, assembly, something that's unique and different and just fun to look at and to make. Part of the fun of this piece is there was planning in the beginning and there was some pattern work, but now I'm just letting the materials kind of dictate what goes next. Having a solid top and bottom to each egg gives them a uniform appearance. Now I'm going to select this piece of twisted cane that's clear and blue and white and cut it to size with the mosaic nippers. Then I think I'll add a little strip of glass. I'll cut that with my handheld cutter and just kind of eyeball it, cut right over the top of that glass, and then break that away and put that on top. This is so much fun just assembling this way. So these strips are about 1/4 inch wide. I've got a variety of different colors, got some blue and green and yellow and some white, pink and teal. All these colors are really springy and look terrific together. I was thinking that this dark purple was really pretty and that white would be a nice contrast to that. So here I'm nipping some more murini, the white murini with the mosaic nippers, and I'm going to arrange those along that strip. And by putting them in a line, it gives you a really unique pattern. It's kind of lacy looking, very specific, nice little details. It's just fun to look at, fun to assemble, and just fun to have. The nice thing about this type of assembly is as you're working, you can decide, I want to change that up a little bit, do something a little different. And it's very easy to do. You just move the pieces around. Now I'm going to take this kind of lavender piece and put it next to the white. Oh, I think that looks really pretty. The twisted cane is lovely because it's clear with a kind of a spiral of opal color in it. So it gives a three-dimensional quality to your work. Oh, and I think this blue is going to look kind of nice there. Let's try that. No, maybe let's try something different. No, we already have that lavender. Don't want to repeat that. Let's try this blue. Yes, maybe. Oh, I don't know. It's so hard to decide. All these colors are so pretty. I can't pick one. All right, it's going to be this blue one. We're going to go ahead and cut that with the mosaic nippers because that's fast and easy. and put it right back in that little spot. There we go. There's a little extra room. Let's see what we can tuck in there. This green and white and clear strip of twisted cane fits nicely in there. And look how beautifully this is coming out. We've got the wonderful opacity of the top and bottom. We have the transparency of the twisted cane and the clear. We have some blue in there. Oh, got room for another piece. Let's go ahead and cut this yellow and white and clear and tuck that in. Oh, wow, just so fun. And then Murini giving us that little line detail across there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of fuser's glue, and I'm using white Elmer's and a toothpick to apply it, to make sure I apply the smallest amount possible. That way I don't have any residue left from the glue after it fires. Now I think I'll add a little detail to the top with some Murini on top of that opal color, or maybe we need an extra one here on the end because it's a little bit shy. There we go. And by gluing the top and bottom piece, it allows you to move this to the kiln without the pieces shifting. Now I'm taking this applicator bottle with a little tiny needle point, and I have some liquid hairspray in there. I'm just dripping that on top to help hold those pieces long enough for me to get this to the kiln. Now I've cut a few more of these Murini. I'll go ahead and put those on top of that opal color for added detail. And gosh, this is the most fun I've had decorating Easter eggs all year. This material and these shapes are perfect for this seasonal project, but you can obviously see how these materials would be, terrific for other applications. It doesn't have to be an egg. It could be, just circles, could be stars, could be, other types of designs, squares, rectangles, ovals, any sort of thing. And you could just really have a lot of fun working with these materials and putting them together in different ways every time. So fun! Another great reason to try this type of assembly is quite often I gravitate to the same colors. I use a lot of blue. I just love blue. Now here, you can see I'm moving away from some of that. Yeah, I have blue in some of these pieces, but this is a great opportunity to test different color combinations together without having a lot of, investment in the project. If I like one egg a little bit better than the other, that's terrific, but of course I tend to like the blue ones, those colors I go to all the time. But like here I'm using a yellow, and I'm using this kind of apple green and this spring green and that soft blue and this soft pink and lavender. So it's really nice to, not have a lot of, time and invested in exactly what materials you're going to use and how you're going to use them. You can just have fun, just enjoy yourself by putting different combinations together and testing different things. I'm placing certain glasses beside each other that I normally would not do because it's just fun. And I like the idea of trying different things in this type of project. So, this could be a really awakening or freeing type of assembly for you because you could do the same thing. If you're always working with certain colors, this is your opportunity to try something different and really end up with something fabulous and colorful and festive, which we love festive. And white is always a wonderful choice if you're not sure what to use because it makes those other colors really pop. The white tends to, fall back visually and make those colors just jump and really exciting. Now, let's say you didn't want to make 8 eggs, but you did like these designs. You could make just the eggs and use them independently as decorations. You could just make one larger egg and not bother with all these little ones. What I love about this design concept is the combination of all the little eggs together surrounding each other, kind of making a little basket. And here are the eggs in the kiln along with that 2-inch circle for the center. We're going to fire these to a full fuse temperature, and here they are coming out of the kiln. And aren't they just darling? Oh my gosh, I love these so much. I want to point out that I did not grind these pieces, and so each one's a little bit different in shape, and that's okay. But it saved me some time, and it made the assembly a little faster, easier, a little more fun because it was, a little less time consuming. And I just really love the way these came out. Look at the twisted cane, how colorful that is, and how it gives a 3-dimensional quality. And I've got a really unique and odd combination of colors here, but I think it's fabulous. Here's the pink and the lavender with the greens. Isn't that so cute? Oh, and then this one with the blue and green. I love that combination on pretty much everything. So we'll have to repeat that one, of course. And then this one's blues and teals and the soft green and then the aqua. So love that. And then here's lavenders with green and some medium blue. Really came out pretty. Just awesome. These are just so cute. And that little round centerpiece, the 2-inch circle with white, I did iridized white. And look, one of those little murini rolled away and touched the side of that piece of glass. So I did go ahead and grind that off because it interfered with my design concept. So it wasn't going to work for me. So I went ahead and ground that little piece off. Now I've drawn the exterior shape of the piece of art on a piece of shelf paper. I put the white in the center, and now I'm going to arrange the 8 eggs around that white center so they're all come in contact with each other. So when I tack fuse this together, that contact will hold the pieces together to make one single project. Here I'm going to place that 8th egg there and arrange them all within that pencil line, and so they all come in contact with each other. And I just kind of arrange those a little bit, move them around. Now, if you didn't want to make this into a bowl, I think it'd make a terrific little wreath, don't you? I mean, we could just hang it like this or just place it on a table or, put it in some sort of stand. It's really, really just so adorable. Oh my goodness, love it, love it, love it. I was concerned that there might not have been enough contact points between the eggs, each of the eggs, and that central circle. So I cut more murini and I tucked them into those little corners in order to create more contact points around all the pieces. And I really liked the extra detail that it added, and I liked the extra color that it added, that it provided for this project. Now, if you didn't want to use the murini, you could cut little pieces of glass and create little bridges between them. That would work as well. I was just concerned, we want to make sure we've got good contact between those pieces so that when this piece is slumped, it's nice and strong. So we full fused it already. Now we're going to tack fuse it together to make all these pieces uniform into one single project. So I'm cutting those twisted cane with the nippers to get uniform sizes of these little tiny green and white and clear pieces. Tweezers are coming in real handy here to place those tiny pieces in those little tiny openings. To further strengthen the piece, I'm going to add a piece of murini and 3 little pieces of twisted cane in between each of the eggs, again to create more contact points between those pieces to increase the strength of the finished piece of art. This is one of the added steps I hadn't anticipated when I came up with this design idea. But I'm really happy I did it because I really feel that it increased the durability of this piece. The project is then taken to the tack fuse temperature, and all of the pieces are now connected, and they have this beautiful design. So exciting. I'm going to take the piece out of the kiln, and look how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. It would be awesome just to leave it like that, right? Now, if you did this with different colors or different, designs on those oval shapes, it would look totally different. It could be a flower, could be something totally, different than a little Easter egg ring. So we're going to take out the kiln shelf and the kiln post, and we're going to place the slumping mold inside the kiln. Now, you want to make sure that your fused glass or tacked glass is smaller than your mold, and this one is. That way you'll ensure that it slides in there evenly and uniformly without sliding off to one side. I'll place that in the mold. We're going to close the lid and fire this to the slumping temperature. And here's the piece coming out of the kiln after it's been slumped. Isn't it just darling? I love the shape, the colors, and all the playfulness of this particular design. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these eggs and you make some for yourself soon. These are so fun to decorate. So many opportunities and possibilities here. You can just have so much fun. And work with whatever materials you happen to have on hand. You don't have to use these colors. Of course, I love these springtime tones here, but you can do any colors you wanted to. Just have a really good time and have fun with it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll know about all my new videos as soon as they come out. And please consider becoming a premium video member on my website. We have premium video content, exclusive material just for members. We have courses, complete courses with full-size pattern ebook, with complete step-by-step video instruction, color images, firing guides, everything you need to make wonderful, exciting projects, and new exclusive content coming out all the time. So please consider becoming a member. And until next time, happy fusing!